안녕하세요. Guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums, and today I don't have time. I slept 3 a.m. in the morning today, and woke up 10:30 a.m. so that I could finish editing Glass movie review, and now I have to do this. So yeah, I'm doing another mini albums review today. I still have both hands. It's kind of insane, I know. But anyway, it's another 2016 edition of Mini Albums Review, which means I'm going to be reviewing 4 great albums from 2016 and 2 terrible albums. Let's start off with the 4 great albums, starting off with Nails! You'll Never Be One of Us! Oxnard, California death metal band comes out with this album, and it's their 3rd studio album, and as always, it's this super violent, aggressive, raw, but also watertight death metal album. And unlike many other death metal albums out there, their music feels so alive, it feels so organic, it feels so raw and humane, but in a very I want to rip my flesh apart kind of way. That's why I love a lot of their music. I'm not a huge metal guy, but this is a great death metal album indeed. So we have the title track, which starts off with these wailing sirens and these vocal samples of people saying, "You'll never be one of us." And then it just gets into this crazy guitar freak out, these buzzsaw guitars that are really wild, and then it stops at a drum break. You will never be one of us. It's really, really violent, really, really awesome. I had so much fun listening to the song, and the vocals, they are just so savage and explosive. The second track is Friend to Wall, and it also has a very crazy and wild drum beat with some crazy industrial drums. It's crazy. The second track and pretty much all the rest of the tracks, except for the last one, are also about a minute long, and the second track, Friend to Wall, also has this really crazy and wild industrial flavored drum beat that I really, really love. I also really like these breakdowns and all these transitions throughout the entire album. The third track is titled Made to Make You Fail, and it has a really fast, speedy blast beat, and yeah, I like it, but it's not one of the highlights. The fourth track is Life is a Death Sentence, and it's actually a very great track with a very primal breakdown, and in the middle of the track we get some really punk-esque drums that are just murking from beneath, and it's really intense. And we have Violence is Forever. I really like the twangy guitars that are really noisy and almost psychedelic in the middle. And then we have Savage Intolerance, which has some dissonant, sour guitars going up and down in the background, and I really like the speedy blast beats of the track, which makes the track sound even more violent. And we have the track In Pain, which is probably my least favorite. We have some thunderous guitar riffs here, which are awesome, but this is probably the most mundane and predictable track on the entire record. We have the track Parasite, which has again this crazy beat, crazy guitars, really savage and raw, and animalistic vocals, and the song just kind of ends off with it slowing down, dragging down, and then we move on to Into Quietus, which is also an amazing track with some heavy guitar riffs and actually a lot of crazy dynamic transitions in between riffs and beats. And then we have the ending track, They Come Back Crawling, which is 8 minutes long in the middle of a 21-minute long album. This song almost takes up 40% of the album's runtime. It's kind of crazy, actually. And it has a really dark intro that's a little black metal-esque, and then we get all of these alternating transitions between blast beats and slow, sludgy guitar riffs, and overall the song is just so dynamic, it's so full of life, and the ending kind of fades out, and I wish it would end in a stronger note, but still, I'm liking this track, I'm digging it. I'm giving Nails, You Will Never Be One of Us I can't growl. I'm sorry. I'm not a trained metal vocalist. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. My favorite is the title track, least favorite, In Pain. And then we have the second album. Yeah, I realized that all the good albums that I'm going to be talking about in the video are also relatively short albums. Up next we have Crying with Beyond the Fleeting Gale. And it's 35 minutes long. And yeah, Crying is a New York pop rock band that makes super uplifting, bright, and lovely, and sweet, and endearing rock songs that sound like anime openings, especially on the track Origin. And yes, the album starts off with Premonitory Dream, which is an absolutely underrated track. I love this song so much, can't stop replaying it. I really like the amateurish vocals, which actually gives the album way more personality amongst all the chaotic wailing synths and guitars and drums in the back. And yeah, the song is uplifting AF. It's so fun. It's so beautiful as well. I really like the syncopated drums in the beginning, which build up to the track. And overall, the song is just so bright, beautiful, cute, and dreamy. And then we have the second track, Wool in the Wash, which is a little more relaxing, a little more laid back, but also even more summery, sweet, and poppy. It also has some flashy hooks and some really nice chimes being worked onto the track. And the track Patriot is a more prog pop track with some shrill and electrifying guitars that are really sweet to the ears. And the track Origin, again, anime opening song. I really like the very speedy strikes of guitars on this track. And the track Well in Spring has a more lo-fi production, and it's way more post-punk styled, with the, drums and guitars, being, performed on time together. Way more post-punk than any other tracks here. And the vocal harmonies here are actually really wintry, but also very smooth and blissful, and I like it still. And the track A Sudden Gust is a nice slow jam track that has a really nice and sweet guitar bass riff. And then we have There Was a Door, which is a really odd track, an oddball on the track list. We get some weird, jumpy Michael Jackson 5 kind of guitar intro, and it kind of transitions into this weird spoken word, almost rapping kind of track, so I'm not too crazy about the track. I think it's just kind of weird. Anyway, we have the track Revive, which is this really uplifting and optimistic barn burner. It's full of energy, and we have all these chaotic synths in the back raining down. We have the track Children of the Wind, the second last track, and it's actually a really beautiful ballad with some really sincere and heartfelt vocals. And the album ending is titled The Curve, and it's actually a really conclusive ending to this very sweet, bright, poppy album with some nice guitar chords, and it just ends off quietly and beautifully, and I love the album overall. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Hell yeah. The fourth album to talk about, not the fourth, the third album to talk about is StreetSects End Position. Oh yeah, by the way, I totally forgot to tell you that, I'm not gonna be reviewing mainstream albums like Kendrick Lamar's Untitled Unmastered, Beyonce's Lemonade, or Kanye's The Life of Pablo in here, because I want to focus on albums that are lesser known, and that needs more explanation for me to explain why do I like it all that much. Anyway, this album, it's not for anyone, it's not for everyone, and I love it a lot. So let's get into it. Austin, Texas, experimental synth punk industrial noise punk band came out with End Position, and it's 32 minutes long, and wow, the album is so violent, it's so raw and primal, but it's not the death metal kinda. It's punk, but very, very noisy, very, very abrasive and industrial. It has this really heavy machinery vibe to it, which I love. The album starts off with "And I Grew Into Ribbons," and immediately it's extremely vicious violence, and it has these very harsh and abrasive screams by the vocalist, just screaming, yelling, and overall the song is just so mechanical and industrial, and I love it. The second track is shorter, Copper in the Slots, and at first we get these really crazy, speedy machinery sound effects, and then it just hits you with these crazy abrasive drum beats, and it's like being constantly hacked by a knife. It's really satisfying, actually. The third track is my favorite. It's titled "In Defense of Resentment," and it's easily the most charismatic, also the most sinister and cynical track on the entire album. Fear of money, fear of love. It's just really awesome. We get some really smooth drum beats and this very sly vocal performance, and these guitars just creeping underneath. It's like it's freaking out, but at the same time it's trying to hide itself from freaking out, if you know what I mean. The fourth track is Featherweight Hate, and it's really violent. It has some sporadic drum beats, and it sounds like the vocalist is trying to sing like a 90s pop song, a 90s R&B song, but it's constantly overshadowed by these loud industrial noises and guitars and all that, and it's disgusting. And then we have Our Lesions, which is very chopped up with some wailing guitars in the back that are also really despondent and twangy and weird. And we have the track Victims of Nostalgia, which has some frenzy pummeling drum beats and some weird water splashing sounds that makes the track sound even more, I guess, mechanical almost, but it has a bit of a liveliness in the middle of all of it. It's like, and then we have the track Black Din, which is also one of my favorites on the album. It has some dreary guitars in the beginning and some wailing lead melodies, and then it just breaks into this very chopped up rock song. It's kind of crazy, and the track Feigning Familiarity. Yes. It's very loud and intense. We get all these crazy sonic freakouts. However, I think the structure of the track is the weakest on the entire album, so I'm not a huge fan of this. But the two last tracks really do redeem the album. We have Collared, Kept, and it's an odd track, but also really loud, abrasive, and raw, and all these almost sentimental vocals sort of screeching in pain and agony, and all these drums surrounding it, all these guitars surrounding it, crushing it to death, especially on the last track, which has some theatrical vocal performances and some mad rumbly lead melodies, and the drums, they're really punk-esque, and I love them. Overall, I enjoyed this album a lot, and I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 as well. My favorite track here is In Defense of Resentment, and my least favorite is Feigning Familiarity. Album number 4, Show Me the Body, Body War! Yes! Even though this isn't like a great album or anything, I'm beginning to love this band a lot because of how well they blend rap music and rock music together and cut off all the BS that comes along with it. It's nothing like Korn, nothing like a Slipknot, nothing like a System of a Down. It's nothing like whatever. It's a really no BS, violent, aggressive rap rock band, and this album, it's 30-something minutes long, and yet it's really fun and watertight and very angsty as well, especially for the title track, which I absolutely love. It's so crazy. We get some crazy primal breakdowns in the beginning that's really slow and sludgy, and then it transitions into this twangy, messy, herky-jerky guitar chord, and we get some angsty vocals that builds up the track. Body War! Body War! It's awesome, and it's so monstrous and so mutinous and freakish and fun. Yes! And then we have the track Tight Swat, which is a really straightforward punk rap track with some fast-paced, speedy rap performance and some guitars that reminds me of the band Fugazi. And the track Death Sounds 2 has some eerie, crisp guitars and some messy rapping. Even though I don't love the track, I still appreciate how they try to sort of make their album a little more versatile. And the track Chrome Exposed, it's awesome. At first we get some mutinous rising guitars that are so freaky. And then it just breaks into this very watery, lighthearted guitar bass. And then we get some rap performance again. That's really, really awesome. And also, for some reason, there's one line in the track. Sounds like Anderson .Paak for some reason. I don't know if it's really him or not, but I don't know. That would be weird, actually, wouldn't it? Anyway, up next we have the track Honesty Hour, which is this weird, quiet, oddball in the track listing. It's very drony, and it's this spoken word track that's really dramatic. I don't know why is it there. Anyway, up next we have Metallic Taste. Even though it's slow, but it's actually a really entertaining and enjoyable track, and it reminds me of King Cruel a little bit. And we get some dreary and twiddly guitars and some really squeaky, cheeky vocals on the track that I really love. And then we have the track Worth One. Again, on the track Worth One and on the track New Language, we get some shouty, staccato vocal performances, which are okay. Kind of stale if, you have listened to it for a very long time, but I guess it's still fun a little bit, I guess. Anyway, the track Worth One is very chaotic and loud, and the track New Language has some up and down octave jumping guitars that are pretty fun. Even though both of these tracks aren't all that spectacular or anything, I still appreciate the passionate performances. And the last two tracks is Two Blood Pacts, which has an odd groove and some strange alt-rock drum beats that are really pummeling and rumbling and amazing. And we have the ending track Aspirin, which is a monstrous closer with some heavy drums and a really crushing guitar chord that ends off the album. And the bass of this thing is very beeping, it's buzzing, and I just love the overall sound of the album. It's extremely angsty, it's really energetic, really raw as well, really muddy as well. I forget to mention how muddy this album is. I just wish that they would bring a little more clarity to their album, not musically, but I guess structurally. And yeah, I'm gonna review Dog Whistle as well in my next mini albums review, so be on the lookout for that. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. My favorite track here is the title track, and my least favorite is Honesty Hour. So, two bad albums. Which one should I start first? Normally, I would start with the one that's not as bad first, but I want to save that special one for the ending, that cringy album for the ending. But yeah, both of these albums are really cringy. Let's start off with Brokencyde with All Grown Up. Brokencyde from Albuquerque, New Mexico, the worst thing that came out of New Mexico, Albuquerque. It's Brokencyde, pretty much the opposite of Breaking Bad. It's horrible. They're horrible, and they're back, and they're old, and they're still making all these stupid, corny, party, trap rap music. Like, originally they come out with all these party rap music, which sucks ass, but now it's 2016, like, by the time it's being released, it's the year 2016, so they have to incorporate some trap music in it, and it's totally trash. The album is 23 songs long. It's 1 hour and 18 minutes long, and it's vomit-inducing. The album starts off with Floozy Season, which is immediately a shitty, hardcore trap rap song with one of the most generic and lamest beats in trap music history. And then we have the track I'm Broken, where they try to sound kind of edgy. Same goes for the last track, except on the last track, the vocals are extra bad, extra horrid. It sounds like a bunch of old people lazily humming to a song. It's horrible. We have the track Los Locos, which has some annoying chipmunk vocals. We have the track Fucked Up, and it's another trash trap rap song. The track Candyland 2.0 has an absolutely garbage hook. Ka-chow, Candyland, ka-chow, Candyland. The track I Hate You is really awkward because it sounds like 2 layers of vocals performing, 1 layer of hardcore screamo and another layer of very calm and toned down singing, and it's disgusting. And the track Bad Ones is actually one of the better tracks on the album. It hits kind of hard. I like the beat a little bit more. And immediately after, we have the track Fire, which is stupid as fuck. And we constantly get this auto-tune vocal. The roof is on fire! The roof is on fire! And it's absolutely gross. The track Vamonos sounds like a trashy K-pop song. It sounds like the kind of song that you would hear in a very shitty sportswear store. And then we have the track Fuck That, which tries to sound like a punk rock track, but it completely fails. And the track Trick or Treat tries to sound spooky and creepy, but again, it completely fails. I kind of like the beat though, but the performance, especially when the vocals are vibrating and all, it's absolutely annoying and disgusting. And the track Roller Coaster has some really disgustingly summery and slick beat. And we have the track Dance Off, which is almost a banger if it weren't for the very annoying, constantly booming and bamming beats. And the track Purple's Daylight and the track Geronimo has some extremely corny singing that's actually monotone. And the album ending, the second last track actually is Sunglasses, and it's 2 words, Sunglasses. It absolutely sucks. The song is a total mess, and the production is trash. And overall, I just don't like the album, man. This album, another really disappointing, dumb, corny, disgusting album from Brokencyde. There's literally nothing good about the album. Nothing. Yeah. 2 out of 10. What's my favorite track here? I don't know. Bad Ones? And my least favorite is, I don't know, dude. And at the end, allow me to wrap up the video with this absolutely cringy album, DieAntwoord. DieAntwoord, Mount Ninja, and Nice Time Kid. Nice Time Kid. This is, I'm not even kidding. This is the title of the album. So yes, South African, comedic, pop, rap, duo thing. DieAntwoord, consisting of Ninja and Yolandi. I mean, I don't hate them, okay? I watched that one video in YouTube where Ninja talks about going to Kanye West's house. I really like that video. But, jeez, this album is the cringiest album I've ever heard. The only reason why I'm not giving it like a 0 or a 1 is because it's supposed to be comedic, it's supposed to be a little funny, and indeed there are funny moments in the album. But other than that, jeez, I don't understand how can an album be this cringy. The album starts off with We Have Candy, which is already cringy in the first second. We have Ninja singing in his really amateurish and flat vocals, I guess, but in a really disgusting way, and he's like singing opera music, and the lead melodies on this track and most of the tracks here sound like a mixture of opera music and cheesy children folk song. And then we have Yolandi's baby voice, which makes me want to slit my own throat. And especially on the second track, oh man, the baby voice is just so annoying. Even though it has a pretty cool beat, it still sucks ass. And then we have Banana Brain, which sound like a really shitty party song, like the kind of music that you would hear blasting across your house 1 a.m. after midnight, and it's one of those shitty ass parties. It's just constantly bamming and spamming, bam, 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 and then we have the track "Shit Just Got Real," which is probably my favorite track here because it does sound kind of funny, and the duo doesn't really try to be as ambitious. And the track "Jonah Hill" also hits pretty hard, even though like half of the track, the second half of the track, is basically a conversation between Ninja and Yolandi arguing if the lyrics are a little too gay. And then we have tracks like Gucci Coochie, Wings on My Penis, and You Like Boobies. Yes, I'm not kidding. These are the actual titles of these songs. The first track, Gucci Coochie, has some annoying up and down guitar notes, and the second track, and not the second, the other tracks, Wings on My Penis and You Like Boobies. I feel so bad for saying these two titles. Anyway, for these two tracks, we get this little kid who's being featured here, and we have Yolandi in her baby voice. Do you like boobies? Kill me. Kill me. And then we have Rats Rule, and it features Jack Black of all people, and it sounds like a really stupid kids folk song parody. And then we have the track Fat Faded Fuck Face and Peanut Butter Plus Jelly, where Ninja kind of sings with this low-key tone, and it's kind of awkward. And then we have the last four tracks, which totally suck ass. We have the track Alien. Please, shut up, please. I'm making this. Oh, okay. Anyway, we have the last four tracks, Alien, and it's absolutely vomit-inducing. It's, Yolandi sings throughout the entire track, and it totally sucks because it's so cringy. It's like this very disgusting blend of children folk music and spooky Halloween cartoon music. And then we have the track Streetlight, which tries to be this dark, moody track. And we have Ninja singing in the streets and the lights. The singing is absolutely horrid. And then we have Darkling, which also tries to be creepy, but it totally sucks. And the ending is titled I Don't Care, and it tries to be this ultimate final blow for the album. And it just ends up as this blob of sounds, and it's a total fucking mess. And overall, this album is just really, really cringy. I mean, I respect these guys. I respect what they do. But I just can't help it. I can't help it but to cringe at this terrible album. I'm also giving this album a 2 out of 10. Yeah, my favorite track here is Shit Just Got Real, and my least favorite is I don't know. I really don't know. I think We Have Candy, or the track You Like Boobies. This track sucks. So what are your thoughts on these albums? From 1 to 10, how much did you rate them? Like if you like them, hate if you hate them, and subscribe if you want more. And I am probably at Korea by the time I'm uploading this. Cheers.